Yo, what's up? Ricky Sanders here. If you live for fast cars, greasy hands, and solving problems under the hood, welcome to your new favourite spot. I'm all about real fixes, no BS, and showing you how to keep your ride running like a champ. So go ahead, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's make some noise in the garage. Enough talk, let's get wrenching.
Probably every motorist has faced such a problem as high oil consumption in the engine. It does not matter whether the car is new or old, expensive lubricant or average, it happens that the engine literally eats oil. But why this happens and what can be done in order to reduce the consumption, sometimes it is quite difficult to understand. Increased oil consumption in the engine is a serious problem, which in turn can be a symptom of more serious damage. Let's talk in detail about the possible causes of such a phenomenon, how you can track and identify the problem, and find the causes of oil consumption in the engine. General points. Strictly speaking, the fact that the engine takes oil is a normal part of its work. It should not be forgotten that the fuel lubricates the working surfaces, including the walls of the combustion chamber. This cause of consumption is completely natural and is not something unhealthy. In order to check the level of lubricant in the engine, you need to use a dipstick, which is located under the hood of the car, and looks like a ring on top of a small branch. It is necessary to release it, take it out of the engine, and look at the grease level covering the scale on the end of the dipstick. Having made a number of measurements for a certain period of time, you can understand how much the engine consumes oil. It is normal if you refill 1 liter of oil per 3,000 to 4,000 kilometers of mileage. If you refill a new liter every week or month, it is safe to say that the engine is eating oil. You should not worry too much. A car is a mechanism, and any breakdown in it is repairable. Possible causes and ways of oil care. There are several main reasons why the lubricant leaves like water. No need to worry, all of them can be fixed, and quite easily and not expensive, except in special cases. Lubricant can leave the engine for one of the following reasons: engine wear and tear. This is one of the most important causes of oil leakage. Old engines with high mileage, on the eve of overhaul, if it is appropriate, practically spill oil into the combustion chamber. Due to the fact that the gaps between the piston rings and the walls of the combustion chamber are greatly increased, as a result of wear. Special additives sold in stores can reduce oil consumption in such a case. It is important to know how compression-increasing additives work. Let's consider the general principle of their action on the example of additives to Oil Resource and Remetal, Petersburg, and Ekaterinburg companies. These additives consist of suspension of the smallest copper particles in spindle oil. The particle sizes are counted in nanometers. And here the same principle is used as in Soviet refrigerators, where the system regenerates itself. Metal particles are deposited on hot surfaces, closing the gaps between the rings and the piston, and reducing the overall clearances between the parts. All of this helps raise compression and makes the engine consume oil in much smaller volumes. They don't cost much, but you have to fill them up every time you change the lubricant, as well as when refilling, in smaller portions. Improper lubrication. One of the reasons why the engine starts eating oil is simply the wrong selection of oil. It is hard to argue with the fact that the oil, which is suitable for Gazelle, should not be poured into Mercedes. You should remember, there are engines that are originally designed for a certain viscosity of oil, say not below 40 points. And pouring synthetics into them, you should not ask yourself how to reduce oil consumption, because the answer is obvious: use the lubricant recommended by the manufacturer. It is written about it in the passport of your car and in its operation manual. Such a complex unit as an internal combustion engine consists of a combination of many engineering systems, each of which is built for its specific parameters. You should not violate their integrity by pouring into the internal combustion engine oil that is not designed for it. Leakage. Another obvious factor, which is not difficult to check. Oil stains are formed under the car after parking, it means that the problem is obvious and you should not look for it elsewhere. It is necessary to replace the oil seals. This will immediately reduce the consumption of lubricant in the engine. Please note, there are many oil seals and gaskets in an internal combustion engine. Lubricant will not necessarily escape to the outside. Check the exterior of the unit for leaks and fouling. Long periods of vehicle operation without maintenance can also lead to leaks. Carrying out maintenance and replacing all gaskets will reduce oil consumption. Check all weak points. Leakage can be due to loose fit of the car's oil filter. Perhaps you just need to change it, or the O-ring between the filter and the engine. Poor quality lubricant. Oil from questionable sources, uncertified, bought on the side, cannot be good. It is necessary to check the purchased product for quality. In addition, you should buy lubricants only from authorized dealers. This simple step solves half of the problems of novice motorists. Useful advice: how to avoid counterfeiting. Pay attention to the shape of the canister. Check what shape the canister is on the manufacturer's website before buying it in the store. The shape of the canister is the level of protection. Because it is very difficult to counterfeit canisters from world manufacturers, due to their complex shape. You can also ask for the certificate for motor oil and the diploma of the official representative. In stores of high level of service, such a question will not cause any complaints and all necessary documentation will be provided upon request. If the seller refuses to show the documents, you should not take a dubious product. It should also be remembered that aggressive driving style leads to high oil consumption. At higher speeds it literally flies out the pipe. Whether the car owner should adjust his driving style or put up with high oil consumption is up to him. But the fact remains. Aggressive driving wears out the engine and increases fuel consumption. Some cars, such as those made in Japan, which consume synthetic lubricants with low viscosity, require constant topping up, and this is normal for them and is part of their job. After all, they constantly operate at higher speeds, and the oil ducts of such vehicles are much smaller than those of standard cars. Large truck motors, on the contrary, require high viscosity oil, and as a consequence, it practically does not leave the system. As for passenger cars, everything is individual and depends on the age, mileage, and general condition of the car. General tips: the car, like any mechanism, likes attention. Follow the intervals for changing technical fluids and fuels not only in the crankcase, but also in other components of the vehicle. Replace them in time, not forgetting to use flushing compounds if necessary. Do not overload the engine by operating within the specified range. Watch the quality of what you pour into your car, and you can be fully confident that such a problem as mysterious disappearance of oil will not threaten you. A responsible car owner knows everything about his vehicle and constantly monitors what and how is happening in the engine of his car. If you treat your vehicle negligently, the answer will not be long in coming, and the master in the car service will take your head and tell his acquaintances about you. Final word. We have considered only the most obvious reasons why the engine eats oil, trying to present them simply and clearly. After all, more complex causes require serious repair, diagnosis, and possibly disassembly of the engine, and certainly will not give simple advice on what to do in such a situation. One thing is for sure: if the engine consumes a lot of oil and the reasons are not obvious, it is worth to go to the service and stand for diagnostics. Remember that the car is the owner's personal responsibility, and do not forget to perform maintenance and follow the intervals for changing all fluids of the unit, so that in return you get only stable and reliable operation. High oil consumption, high oil consumption, high oil consumption, high oil consumption, aggressive driving, car care. In conclusion, high oil consumption in an engine can stem from various factors, including worn piston rings, faulty valve seals, or even issues with the engine's design. Regular maintenance and timely inspections are crucial to identifying these problems early on. By addressing the root causes of excessive oil consumption, you can not only extend the life of your engine but also improve its overall performance and efficiency. Thank you for watching, and be sure to stay informed about your vehicle's health to ensure a smooth and reliable driving experience.